we're involved in sex work. So we have some other girls that we manage and work with that they're going to need testing as well. So do you guys see them or?
Yeah, we see
teen services.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we see people as young as 13 years old. We see people as young as 13. And everything is confidential.
Because they're 14, 15.
Yeah, everything is solely confidential. They can come in, make the appointments. I can give you guys the numbers. You can make the appointments over the phone. You guys can come in and speak to one of us and we can set up the appointments. And if any of you guys don't have insurance, we have a family planning benefit program. And mostly everybody qualifies for that. Like it goes based on income. But like all students, all minors, they get like automatically they'll be on sliding scale because it goes from A to D. So sliding scale A is free, and then it just starts going up slowly.
Okay.
Cool.
And then they don't speak English because they just came in. Just
That's
in.
fine.
So
I'm bilingual. I'm always here. I speak Spanish, and we also have other languages. We have Siricom where we call over the phone, and we have any other languages.
Cool. So how would you recommend for them to best do it? Because we don't want them getting confused or whatnot, and it's kind of a sensitive subject. So we don't want them saying the wrong thing, and or getting refused or turned away. So how would you suggest they go about being able to get the access, even in spite of what they do?
Yeah, like I said, everything is confidential. They don't have to tell anybody what it is that they do when they're making the appointment, because it's just going to be between them and the physician that they see. Just come in, let us know what you want to, like we do need to know what the appointment's for, but it's going to be testing, abortions, is any kind of particular pain they're having or something, because we also do GYN exams. We do annual exams, which cover everything, or just testing. So we're not going to ask in specific or like if something burning, something itching.
What if they're not a resident? What if they're not a resident? They don't
That's fine. Like for our benefit program, we do require that they bring in some documents, but if they don't have it, we just ask that they bring whatever they can.
Just
bring.
whatever they have.
a photo ID or something.
Yeah, we ask them to bring a photo ID, proof of address, proof of income, and
Proof of
that's it,
income?
and birth certificate.
They don't have like a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, they're not working, or if they even like work in the after-school program, that's considered unemployed. So they can have like a family member or
Just
friend,
unemployed.
or one of you guys.
Yeah, they're really.
You can find somebody. You can find somebody.
You wouldn't need to know if they work at night and whatever. Yeah, they do this.
None of that. We don't need to know anything. Everything's totally confidential. Just when like you can even write the letter and state, like,
good.
my name is so and so, and I support this, whatever, and just put like contact information. They don't even call you. They just ask for contact information, but no one calls you, and just sign and date it.
Okay, sure. ID
And whatever you don't have, they could just bring in whatever they do have, and just speak to them, and I'm sure they can work on it.
Okay, good. I'm glad it could work out. I think that covers a lot. That answers a lot of
There's like a lot of different situations we deal with with foster care, so that kids in foster care can't get their hands on their documents, or like kids that are hiding things from their parents, because everything's all about confidentiality here.
Because they don't have parents or anything. They just came over working with us and helping them out. Keep them safe,
Yeah, because like
Can we even sign off as a guardian? Is that possible?
if you were writing their support letter, yeah, you could say that you take care of them, you support them. There's nothing here, like they're not our patients. We don't ask for a guardian signature. Everything is the patient. Like a 13-year-old could come in and get the services she needed by herself.
Okay, that works. What's your name again?
My name is Crystal.
Crystal.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Are you a physician here?
I'm one of the practitioners, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, do you have a moment? Or, I was wondering, so is it still confidential?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, we're involved in sex work, and we have some girls that are kind of younger, like 14, 15, that they might need an abortion. And how is the best way? Should they be able to go about that?
They just show up and set up an appointment. Do they have insurance?
They don't have insurance. Some of them don't even really speak that good English because they just got here. So.
Right. So we have an interpretation phone. So they don't speak Spanish. That's not a problem. I mean, if they don't speak English, that's not a problem because we can have an interpreter.
Yeah.
We can call them up. We also have staff here that are trained to interpret.
Yeah, like someone with like Thai or something like that. So they really don't even speak Spanish. Like,
They don't, but we do have a phone system that supports a lot of languages. That may be one of them. In terms of insurance, they would probably speak to one of our entitlement people to get them set up with some insurance. They don't have to be citizens to get the insurance, and it is confidential.
And if they don't have like their information and all that?
Yeah. Do you have our number to call because they could tell you what documents to
I think
bring
we
in?
did get the card.
Yeah, so you call and you tell them that, and they'll tell you what documents to bring in, but it doesn't have to be like a grade. They don't have to be citizens to qualify.
Cool. Okay. Thank you. That's good information. That's good information. I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Marquita.
Marquita.
I'm the
Thank you.
supervisor.
Yeah, clinical supervisor. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, you guys do STD testing? Yes. Okay, can we? Yeah, we can set it up. Okay, great.
Kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of a complicated situation.
Okay.
But, so like, I think I might have an STD. That's kind of like the first part of it. So I think I might need testing.
Right.
But it kind of goes, alright, so is this all confidential in here?
Yeah. It's a medical office, yeah.
Okay.
Everything applies, so.
Alright, so, yeah, she's been trying to get me to come in here for like a while now. So, yeah, I'm just, let me see. Yeah, so I need the testing from me off the bat. But there's we're involved in sex work.
Okay.
So there's some other girls that we kind of manage that they kind of need help too.
Right.
But at least she's been trying to.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in here for a while, because we got to keep them safe.
Yeah.
So,
Of course.
yeah.
And we see people from, every walk of life, so.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, and like, all the girls at Paper Moon, and like, various places around town, so.
Okay, so it's good.
No judgment, no sharing of information, like, nothing here.
That's what we were worried about, the health facility or the government, stuff like that. So the complicated part of it though is some of the girls, they're around like 14, 15, and some of the girls are from like out of state, out of country. They don't know about the facilities. They don't know how to get help. I don't even know how to do it. So like, what are your like
Are they
teen
illegally
services?
here, or are they legally resident?
Some of them don't have like their residency yet or something like that. But like, how do you guys have teen service or stuff like that?
I mean, we can give them the same information. The only thing that requires a legal guardian is an abortion. I mean, you can get birth control testing, like anything without a parent. The only thing that requires over 18, if they're a minor, is an abortion. But there's also ways like judicial bypasses we can get around that. If you guys ever need it, there is a way to avoid that.
How can we do that? Because I mean, if they need the help, then I don't know.
And the best thing for them to do is call here or walk in, the same way you're doing. There's also online appointment scheduling. If they just have questions, want to talk to someone, they can come in, or we can talk to them over the phone. I mean, everything's confidential.
What was that? What did you say it was? Bypass?
Judicial bypass.
Oh, okay.
It's if someone is a minor and they don't want their parents, they don't have their parents' insurance, so an abortion would show up.
Oh, yeah.
You fill out paperwork, and we help you kind of set it up, and then we have a specific confidential hotline that will call you at whatever number you give us and handle the whole thing. So for someone who's a minor, that's a really good option. We do them probably once or twice a month here.
Wow.
So we're pretty good at handling if someone, doesn't want someone else to know or doesn't want a parent.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just get your nose once the abortion. How would you set up the other thing?
Well, I mean, the judicial bypass, she has to come in for what we call a pre-op visit first. It's an ultrasound, blood work, paperwork to fill out. At that time, she'll start the judicial bypass process. And then we do some counseling with them as well. And then, like I said, that separate organization will call them on whatever number they give us and do the process. And then they come back for the actual abortion itself at a later date. So, if she's taken some tests at home, already knows she's pregnant, she should come in for her pre-op visit because it is time sensitive. The state of Virginia only lets you go to 13 weeks and 6 days at the most. And then at that point you need to go to Maryland, D.C. They they have looser laws in terms of how far you can do an abortion. So, you know, if she's going to do it in the state of Virginia with us, we have to make sure she's here, got the bypass in time to actually do it legally.
That would be good. What would you recommend is the best, like birth control and all that to get on?
It depends on the woman, really. I mean, young people are usually find it difficult to take a pill every day, same exact time.
That's true, especially when they really don't know that much.
If someone is a little bit older or not looking to get pregnant in the next 5 to 10 years, we have IUDs, it's an intrauterine device. It's actually this thing right here. It's placed in the uterus and it kind of just like sits up at the top and it protects you for 5 to 10 years. There's also the NuvaRing, which is inserted vaginally. It protects you for a month at a time. So, you know, those are all options for people who want to go with pills. And then we do have the pills, but we have like 15 different kinds here.
Oh, wow.
So, pretty much everything. We have condoms here for free. So we kind of got it all.
Yeah. No, that's a lot of information. That's a good point.
And a lot of this information is also on our website, because I know I'm just like throwing a lot at you right now. If you want to visit our website, you can also book appointments through the website too.
That'd be good, like, if we needed to, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, good. Alright, yeah, that's a lot of information. Alright, so, I guess we gotta, our time is almost up, we gotta go.
Yeah, to get back to this.
Yeah, we gotta
go, yeah.
Let me give you a card.
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
I'm Kimberly.
Kimberly, thank you so much.
We're involved in sex work, alright? And there's some girls that we manage that we're not quite sure if I got it from one of them.
Okay.
Alright, so they might need to come in here and get tested as well. Do you guys provide services for that?
Excuse me. So for women, we have two options. We can either do a full GYN exam, so that would then involve the breast exam, the pelvic exam, pap smear, stuff like that. And then we can also do the STD testing at that part. And then that way, if they're having any issues that need actual further looking into, that can be taken care of at that point in time.
Now the thing is, okay, so some of them are like, some of them are young, they're kind of like, some are like 15, 14, and some of them don't speak any English, you know, because they're not even from here, so it's like, how can they come in here, because they don't always feel comfortable coming into facilities.
One, minors are always accepted without parental consent.
Okay.
The only thing that you do have to be careful is, if they are a minor, we are obligated, if we hear any certain information, to kind of report. So the first thing with that is, what if they do speak English or even Spanish? It doesn't matter what they speak. It doesn't matter what they speak. If we're going to have it translated, they just have to be aware that they have to be careful with what, you know, I'm not kind of like leading in, I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
I know, that's fine. How would you recommend, like, because we want them to get the help, so
exactly.
what would you recommend?
Exactly, but so mainly, like, on the paperwork, there's going to be a point that asks, you know, like, are you sexually active, stuff like that. If they're under a certain age, we're kind of, you know, me and my other counselor, like, for the most part, we want as little information as possible. We want as little information as possible because you're not going to get involved in this shit. You know, excuse my word. Once we get to the nurse practitioner, she's a little bit more anal, so she likes to kind of dig a little bit more. So how old is your partner? You know, that kind of stuff. So that's where, you know, so even if they lie, just say, oh, he's the same age as me, 15, you know, so like if they're 15, it's just like mainly 14 and under, we have to. Doesn't matter if their partner's the same age, younger, whatever. 14 and under, we have to report.
14 under. That includes being 14. Right?
Yeah, 14, you know, once they get to 15, then there's a little bit more playroom. So as long as they just lie and say, oh, he's 15, 16, you know, as long as they don't say 14, and as long as it's not too much of an age gap, then we just kind of like, then we just kind of play.
What if they do say they're 14?
Well, you know, then from there, it's just really watching what they say.
What if they need an abortion, though?
Oh, that's a completely different story now. No, if they're this is more just for testing the stuff.
We need to know a little bit.
Yeah, if they come in for pregnancy testing, at that point it still needs to be. You never got this from me. Just to make all of our labs easier. If they're 14 and under, Just send them right there if they need an abortion. Okay, let them
This is
do
the
it.
spot.
Okay, I
Yeah.
mean, will they ask
Okay.
questions or anything? Do they need ID or something?
They won't need ID. Them, they're going to be a little bit more different, but their protocols aren't as strict as ours, and they don't get audited the
Okay.
same way that
Take them to
we
the
do, like with the trust.
the
So pregnancy,
Metropolitan
14.
Medical
Like this is
Association.
for 14 and under. I'm
Okay.
saying. Once they hit 15, it's kind of a whole different like playing
okay.
field with the
Okay.
age and New Jersey guidelines. You know what? I want to see. Let me get you guys a copy of this too.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me just do that now before I get sidetracked. This is actually just the minor's rights. This way you guys have a copy of
Oh,
this.
good. And
So you already kind of know before you
Yeah,
get into
okay.
any situation, like, oh, all right, okay, no, let's not do this way, let's go this way, you know, that kind of
Oh
stuff.
my gosh,
Hang on one
okay.
second. I use this as my Bible.
Okay. There you go.
I still
That's your
use
Bible. All
No
right.
matter what, you get so many parents, and I mean, like, you understand where they're coming from, but it's like, oh, but she's a minor. Okay, yeah, so.
Hey.
it still needs to be safe.
Yeah,
Exactly,
you know.
but, you know, she's still entitled to care without mom knowing what the hell's going on. So.
Exactly.
All right, so for pregnancy, 14 and under, just go
For the
straight there.
Okay.
Keep us out of the loop because keep us out of the loop because
Yeah.
you know,
You gotta-
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, are most of them,
I
when
like
you say
that.
they don't speak English, do they at least speak Spanish?
Some of them are like Asian.
Okay.
You know.
No matter what, we do have access to like telephone translators.
Okay.
So
okay.
if they don't speak English or Spanish, we can make do. You
Some
know,
you can do
yeah,
it.
well, you know, preferably more with the STD testing and the pregnancy testing, only because once we get to exams, not only do then they have to translate while we're in here,
Yeah.
then there's like no communication in the exam room, and then we need the translator for that, you know, so,
It's
or even if they can bring somebody who would translate for them, you know, that would be great too. But that's,
Okay. Now, what about birth control for them? Can we get all of that? How would you recommend we go about?
that, they would need to make an appointment for the full exam,
Okay.
and they come in and we just take it from there.
Is there any difference between the ones that are like 15 or 14? Will there be anything
No,
different
no,
that they need?
no, so the only thing is the fees are cheaper.
Oh.
Yeah, what are the
Yeah,
prices?
because we go on a sliding scale fee depending on income and family size.
Okay.
19 and under, here's the thing too, if they're minors, just tell them to put down that they're students. Just
Students.
Yeah, just kind of play along that they're students. We want to make it look as legit as possible.
Yeah, we want to make
So
it
say that they're students, and then as long as they're 19 and under, they go into what we call like the student fee scale.
Yeah.
So they're paying the lowest price.
See, because we might need to just get them in here as soon as they get in here, you know, from out of the country, when I just get them checked out immediately. You know, that way we know ahead of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming most of them were coming in illegally, right? So it's
Yeah,
not
so
like
they're
they're
not
getting
going to have all the...
pre-tested beforehand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna know their health.
And we don't do, you know, immigrants welcome. We don't require social, you know.
Cool,
We try to keep everything as confidential, you know, everything as possible. The only
Yeah,
stuff that
yeah.
ever gets shared is like with the State Department, you know, positive results and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So just the results.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, we don't even care about at that point. We just want the information. ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay. So the girls are coming in. You can probably come in with the girls.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah,
like the
just
birth
to-
control
just so
and
we
the
can make more
testing.
sure,
A little more,
you know, you just
yeah.
say like, oh, this is a friend, you know, and as it is, it's like, most of the time I'm the one here. You might occasionally
Okay.
get.
Do you have
someone-
a car?
Yeah, you know, and I'm the office manager here, so, you know, any questions, you guys just let me know. But for the most part, I'm usually the one doing most of the interviewing before they go back for the exam.
Okay, so then you know me
Occasionally,
and then-
exactly, occasionally I do have somebody like, you know, who's helping out and floating out, I might have an extra person, so you might end up getting somebody else, but you know.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be fine. Like,
You know,
if I'm comfortable with you, then
exactly. You
they'll
know,
be
and you just
comfortable
kind of.
with you. Yeah.
So the whole thing is like with me, we already know. I see you. We already know we're going to kind of alter the story and kind of see what we can do to kind of tweak information.
Yeah, you can.
So, and if there's ever anything when they're filling out the paperwork that you're questionable, for the most part, we kind of harass you at the front desk. You left this blank. You left this blank.
Yeah.
You just be like, oh well, I want to wait until I talk to the nurse, and that's fine.
Okay.
Because then you just say, I don't understand.
Yeah.
See the nurse practitioner. She's a very good woman clinically.
Yeah.
Between the three of us, because we're already cool.
Yeah.
We hate her.
But
But that's why you come and you ask for me only.
okay.
Corinne is my right hand. She's the one that was at the desk that you
Corinne.
spoke to with the dark hair. You know,
Okay.
you know, but if I'm not available, you just say, hey, listen, I know Amy, you know, just have her give me a call back, you know, she's,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, Corinne seemed cool.
Yeah,
She seemed cool.
She's my partner in crime, and we try to
She
do
knows
the best
what's
that we
up.
can.
And then a question, if it comes down that they do need an abortion, how long till they can be sexually active again?
Minimum 2 weeks.
Minimum 2 weeks.
Minimum 2 weeks.
Do you maybe have any suggestions about what else they could do in the time? 'Cause
I mean, they still got to make money, you know?
Yeah, waist up.
Waist up.
Waist up.
Okay.
Or just be that extra action walking by.
We might just need to, anyway, we could just like streamline this, like holla at you, slide you a little,
we
you
can
know,
try
and
depending
you
on
can
the,
just get them streamlined.
depending on what the situation is,
Yeah.
we might be able to do that. So yeah, so, and then if you can, you hit me up, like if you can give me a couple days notice too,
we got you.
then that way I can even have it set up.
You can have it all set up,
make it all.
streamlined.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 13.
Okay. In the state of Indiana, you have to have a parent's signature to get an abortion.
And they would want to know who was the father and everything, and I can't tell. I wouldn't want to tell them about all that stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Because to me, he would be in really big trouble.
Right? Because I don't want to know how old he is. Okay. Okay.
What do you mean?
I don't want to know how old he is. Okay. And because in the state of Indiana, anyone 13 years and younger, there has to be a report done to CPS. You know.
He might be 31. You know.
Okay. I didn't hear the age. I don't want to know the age. It could be reported as rape.
Oh, okay.
And that's child abuse.
Oh.
Okay.
So if I just say, I don't know who the father was, but he's one of the guys at school or something.
Right. Just, you know, you've seen him around, you know he's 14, he's in your grade and whatever. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so that's that problem solved.
How old are you? I'm 13. If I set up an appointment, are they going to ask me how long my boyfriend is? Because he told me that if people found out that then they would be very mad at him.
We don't ask anything about our boyfriend. We don't really care about what the age of that was consensual. It's your choice.
He's 31.
I don't care how old he is. Surrounding states don't have parental consent.
What state should I go to?
I can't say anymore.
Okay.
I said surrounding states. So think about the states that are surrounding Indiana and do some research. If you're trying to really hide it, I don't recommend the medication one, but you can
What do you mean?
there's a medication one that you would miscarry at home. You take a pill, it's $500, and then you put some medicine in your cheeks and so forth. And I don't recommend that with your situation. You just need to get it over with.
They say that if your boyfriend is cooperative and he's not forcing you to have the abortion, you have a good relationship with him, they say that it's better to have him with you for support.
Because he's
How old? Like, is he not a minor? Or,
no.
okay, then
He's 27.
I wouldn't take him with me. No, don't take him with me. Okay, just say.
Are they gonna ask me about him though?
Read this. Okay, all this is in here, but you don't have to say anything. That's your choice. That's your private life, and I mean, as long as you're not being forced to have sex.
Not at all. Are the parents gonna find out?
No, everything's confidential. How old are you?
Is that confidential?
Yeah.
I'm 14. Because he's 31.
Okay.
So,
Does he know how old you are?
I think, well, not really.
Right.
Yeah, because my boyfriend dropped me off and he said, take care of it, like, get your counseling or get your stuff. And so if I go back and I say that I didn't take care of it, he'll be really upset.
Okay, but there's steps involved in taking care of this because you are underage. He doesn't know that, right?
Well, he knows it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, he knows. They're nice.
Okay, so will he be paying for it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll pay for all of it. He said he'll pay for all of it. Yeah, people gonna get
For what? You have the right to an abortion, you just have to have the proper documentation.
I'm only 15 and my parents can't help about it. But my boyfriend's like, you need to get this taken care of because I'm going to get in trouble. And
is he older?
Yeah.
I mean, everything's confidential here, you know what I mean?
He's 27.
Okay.
He's older.
This is you. It's not me, it's not her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is like, all I could give you is either advise you or, you know, help you out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I can't say, don't, you know, oh, I'm gonna go and do this. I can't be that way. That's not me. Okay? So the thing is...
so it's okay, like, that...
See, when you go, you know, he is older. Right?
Yeah.
But when you go with the counselor, she might ask you certain questions, she might say some stuff, you know what I mean? But all that, it's up to you. He's just older than you. He's a lot older than you.
He's 31.
Okay. And how old are you?
Is he gonna get in trouble?
No.
You promise?
I don't know. Okay, the main point is that you wanna,
I'm 14, but I'm turning 15 in 2 months. So very soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And look, if we keep this conversation, I'm gonna have to talk to my manager, and yeah, he's gonna get in trouble because he's not supposed to. I mean, he's your age doubled and more one, but in order to get the, I'm not gonna tell anybody. Okay, so please don't say that I told you this.
Okay.
But you need to call them. You need to call her.
Are they gonna ask questions about her boyfriend?
No.
They don't need
if
to
you
know.
don't mention it, just say you have a boyfriend, 17 years old, whatever.
I need to make an appointment
For
abortion.
okay, hold on 1 second. Now, how old are you?
14.
How old is your boyfriend?
Wait, is everything here confidential?
Yeah, I can't say anything.
Okay, he's 31.
He's 31. Okay.
Is it a problem about my boyfriend?
As long as you consented to having sex with him, there's nothing you can truly do about that.
I just have some questions about like sex, to be honest.
Okay, I can help answer them.
I'm still kind of new to all this. So we were fooling around the other day, and he threw out that he wanted to try some role play.
Is he older than you?
Yeah, he's 17.
Yeah, they do it all the time.
Really?
People dress up cowboys and Indians type of things, or a nurse, and he would be like a nurse, or you could be the maid, and he would be some rich guy and dressed all fancy.
Okay.
You try to seduce him, and
gotcha.
or you could be a dominatrix type of person, to where you dress in like all leather or something with the whips and handcuffs, and you don't hurt him unless you
and then it's okay. Okay.
Or he might want to be that towards you.
Okay.
Be dominant over you.
Okay. What do you do with like the whips and stuff?
I normally get spanked with the whip. And it doesn't have to be that hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you test he needs to understand there needs to be rules to test your limits. 50 Shades of Grey,
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
You need to read it. She is very new to it, never had sex, and he's this experienced guy. So
Okay.
those 3 books are good.
He said that he wanted to try some kink. What is that?
Kind of the same thing as
Is this-
like anal sex might be involved in kinkiness.
Okay.
Toys, on the other hand, you have to be 18 or older to go into the stores to buy the toys.
Okay.
For that.
Okay.
When does he turn 18?
I don't know. I think in the summer sometime.
I mean, he could go in there.
He could go in and do it for us.
But they do ask for ID. Unless like your friend went, if you trusted someone good enough to go in.
To go in and get stuff for us.
But I would start with the taste, and then the role play, and then work up to the harder things.
The harder things.
Hitting and things like that.
Okay.
Like I said, you both need to set a boundary. Like if he says, no, you're not allowed to play in my anal area, or I don't want to be hit this hard. This is the hardest you can hit me type of thing. You need to have your boundaries set. If something is too intense for you, use a safety word.
So like stop.
Yeah, red, black,
Red.
just anything. The toys, look online to see. When you look online, you'll see what they are.
Okay.
They're things that go down in the vagina area.
Okay.
Anal is something you'd have to work in because it is kind of intense and painful sometimes.
Okay.
Especially once you get past.
Okay.
If he's circumcised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because it hurt.
Okay.
Yeah, just work in whatever you want.
How do I know if something is like, if it's like a good kind of pain or not? Like, how do I know if it's too intense?
It'll feel good to you.
Really, I'll just be able to tell.
Like, it's a width that's like about this long. And you got the handle, and there's like leather that's on it that goes down like this, like several strings, like 30 on it. And it kind of looks like a duster, but a leather duster.
A leather duster.
And with the handcuffs and the rope. It just depends what type of pain you can take. If he wants his chest smacked or something like that.
So
kinky, sex, dominatrix stuff, it's very popular.
Okay.
And people blog about it all the time.
Oh, do they? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So they could give me ideas for like how to start, how to do it.
Yep, I'll give you an example. It's called free porn site that you don't get any viruses off of. Like there's categories that you can click on the categories and it's just rows of whatever you want to watch.
Okay. Yeah, and so my boyfriend and I could like watch that and just like get. Okay.
Yeah, just Google whatever you have in your head about how to start something. If you have an idea, Google what is in your head, and I'm sure people have already done it.
Okay.
Do you have insurance?
I don't know. I mean, I think my parents do, but I don't.
You don't want them to know?
Yeah, no.
Because you're 15, we do have a program until the age of 18. It's called Project Prevention. Basically, it helps young men and women get access to birth control and STD testing.
I was talking with my boyfriend the other day, and we were just like kind of fooling around, and he said he wanted to start trying like some new stuff with sex. He mentioned that book, 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, so I think it's like that.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's similar to like bondage.
Okay.
That would be what it is. Again, with those, you just want to be safe. You want to have a safe word because there can be like tying up and gagging involved, and if something's hurting you and you can't communicate that, you could end up, injured in some way. So a lot of couples will have a safe word. Like if I say word, like if I say dog, then that means everything stops. Like, no matter, or anything you can think of. You just want to say
like stop or like.
Well, those can kind of get like mixed up when you're having intercourse. So it's like for some people, stop might work for you guys, but for some people, some guys, they don't know, does she really mean stop or does she mean, whatever. And also like an action or something. If you're gagged or something and you can't say that word, you need to be able to do something to let him know.
An action or something.
In the 50 Shades of Grey, there was like, some whipping or, some asphyxiation, tying up. It can involve a lot of different things.
What's that for? Like, I mean, the whipping, like, what's that for?
Some men just get some type of pleasure out of it. Some women get pleasure out of it.
So if my boyfriend and I, if we wanted to, like, try that out, like, where should we start with that? Like,
I think it would be helpful if you guys read the book, to be honest, or even did some internet research on it, and then kind of went through the different things that are in there. And it's like, are you comfortable with this? Are you not comfortable with this? Like, they play with different toys. They have things like scare the hell out of me, but for some people they might like that.
What are those? I mean,
I think they're just things you put on.
Oh man!
Sounds like that to me, but for some women, hey,
that might work.
There's so many different fetishes out there. Like
really?
Some guys like for women to urinate on them, or like what is it? Pooping, basically. Like on them. I was trying to find the scientific word for it. But there's some really weird stuff out there, which would be weird to me. For some people, that's completely normal. And it can be really fun, trying to figure out, oh, that was really fun, or I saw this on this sex video and it looked kind of cool. Let's try it.
Let's try it. Okay.
Have you guys ever went to a sex shop together?
No.
Okay.
What is that?
There's tons of sex shops around here. Basically,
oh, really?
That's where they carry different outfits. Like if you want to role play like a teacher or a nurse, they have outfits. They have whips, ties,
everything. And you said there are some here in town?
Mm-hmm. Like, have you heard of like? It's just basically an adult play store is what they call them.
Okay.
Talking to someone in there might be really helpful, actually.
Oh, they probably have ideas,
huh? That would be a good place
Uh-huh.
for you guys, I think, to go together and get educated together and be able to ask questions together and kind of get more comfortable with trying new things.
Yeah, and then do some research online, like maybe like watch porn or something.
Yep, and you guys can do that together. You can do it on your own and get ideas and bring them to each other. But you can do it together. Some people like to do that and then act it out. Be careful. Some of those will be viruses. Like
True. Viruses, don't want that.
Yeah, so just be careful with that.
If I were to look that up on my computer, could my parents see that?
Possibly. Do they get on your computer a lot, or?
Well, okay, I use the family computer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they might be able to go in your history and look. So, you might want to do it elsewhere.
Do it elsewhere. Okay.
It kind of depends, though, if they're on your computer a lot, or
it's a family computer, so I probably wouldn't want to look anything up. I guess there, but.
If your phone has internet, you can use your phone too.
Oh, my phone. I hadn't thought about that. I know it's normal for like guys to do stuff on girls, but you said that girls can do stuff on guys too?
Yeah.
Is that so? Like what kind of stuff could?
The same thing they do to you. You can gag them, whip them. I mean,
really?
Completely what they're comfortable with. Again, you both have to be comfortable with it.
Right.
Some guys are like, oh no, you're not doing that to me. Some guys love it. They want you to walk them around on a leash, pretend they're a dog or a horse. There's some cool stuff out there that's really interesting. I think you'll have fun doing some research and finding out some new stuff. I mean, you're young, you have, this time to explore. You're lucky to be so young and have a relationship with a partner that you trust. That's rare. So, I mean, take advantage of that.
You look like you're, how old?
15.
15, okay.
My boyfriend, we've been talking about like trying out some new things like with sex.
Sure.
And so we were fooling around the other day and he threw out that he wanted to try some role play.
Okay.
And so I'm wondering, like, is that normal? Like, do people do that a lot?
Yeah, a lot of people, and it's very common to experiment with different things because, missionary position gets boring and so then you try different things and then you're like, let's try something else. And different people have different things that will turn them on and get them excited. Different people have different types of fetishes. Some guys like feet and they find that kinky and they'll maybe want to suck on your toes or, during intercourse. Or some guys will even want to, into your shoes, which is a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
Then there is kink that can be where you tie each other up, where either he likes being tied up or he wants to tie you up, bondage type thing.
Oh, okay.
If you're into that, then you just need to make sure you, one, have a safe word to where if I say this word and it should be something really bizarre that doesn't relate to whatever you're doing, like Jell-O is my safe word.
Why?
Because if you decide, I'm not comfortable with how this is going, I want a safe word so that you know I want you to stop. It can be bondage, it can be passive and aggressive and submissive, where one of you is just passively being punished, or it could be, a lot of different things.
How does that work? Like the passive and submissive, like.
It depends on the role. Sometimes the guys like women to be very aggressive and they'll be submissive and please don't punish me, or I've been a bad boy, please do punish me. Or they want to be the aggressor. And so that's where it's really important to have a safe word and be comfortable with your partner and know that when you say your safe word, he will stop. Some people like to play the baby thing where they will put on diapers and be the baby. And then they want to, like pretend they're breastfeeding. I mean, key.
Okay.
It has a wide range.
So it's just like a lot you can do with it.
And it just depends on what you guys are comfortable with. When people get tied up, sometimes they use like scarves, something easy to do, or ropes. Some people go more extreme and use actual handcuffs.
Oh, really?
But then you have to trust that your partner will unlock you.
Right.
And it can be, you're tied to a bed or tied to a tree or, just tied behind your back or above your head.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay. So, handcuffs. Okay.
And they do have handcuffs specifically for that you can self-release from.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But you have to go to the porno stores to get them, and if you're 15, you're underage, and you can't go in.
Okay. Could my boyfriend go in? How old do you have to be?
21.
21, okay.
So you may want to start with like scarves or something.
Something else.
Or just the little toy handcuffs, but know that they'll probably release.
Probably, yeah.
Some people like being spanked or hit.
Oh, really?
Or whipped.
Oh, okay. Wait, so that you actually would like use a whip? Like, oh, interesting. I've never heard of that before.
Look online, and Kama Sutra has books with is a book of ancient Hindu, and it has different positions. You could probably find books on sex and kinkiness and all of that.
Kama Sutra?
Kama Sutra. You could probably try The Joy of Sex.
The Joy of Sex. Okay. And that's just about, is that positions too, or is that
it's about
more everything?
Enjoying sex with your partner. And it talks different positions and different things you can do.
Okay. And then to find out more about like role play and like kink specifically, are there books on that too?
Probably, or you could try the internet. Although if you put something like that in the internet, you're going to get some interesting videos.
What would be an idea of like a bad website to go to? Because I just want to be sure that I know, like...
Anything with like hot naked girls in the title.
Okay.
Those are going to be porno sites.
Oh,
Doesn't mean they're not educational, but...
Okay.
There are actually educational pornos out there.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Women-oriented porn will tend to have more of the guy trying to pleasure the woman, which is important because if the guy is not taking time to pleasure the woman, you won't enjoy it as much.
So woman-oriented porn, that can be helpful to watch?
Mm-hmm.
And can I just ask you quickly how old you are?
I'm 15.
Okay.
He kind of threw out that he wanted to try some new things. He threw out like role play.
Okay.
And it sounded like a fun idea, but I guess like I just don't really know if that's like normal.
Role play absolutely is normal. I would say anything within the sexual world is normal as long as it's consensual between the two people.
He threw out a book called 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay.
All
right. So, have you read that book?
No.
Has he?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Actually. I think
that's interesting.
So.
Okay.
Why?
So there are lots of things that happen in 50 Shades of Grey that border on, I wouldn't say abuse because it's consensual, but definitely extreme. So there are things that happen in 50 Shades of Grey that are extreme. Now, if it's consensual, again, completely normal. Things that happen in 50 Shades of Grey all center around pain and your response to pain and submission. I'm not going to say whether it's right or wrong. I thought it was a good book, but whether the behavior itself is right or wrong, I don't know. My focus really would be on your safety and just that it's consensual. Those are, again, the two pieces that I would say are the most important part. So if he wants to try something that's physical, that is going to cause you harm or pain, and you're okay with that, that's a completely different thing than he wants to try something to do that you're not okay with or that you feel pressure to.
Okay.
Role play to the extreme of submissive behavior. It's pretty extreme. At the age of 16, I don't know that it's something that I would recommend. But I guess if you're both of the same age with the same expectations, then I think that's okay. I would be really open and ask him, what is it that you think you want to do? And what are you asking me? Items that are used in 50 Shades would be things like whips and nipple clamps and I don't know, it's been a while, and there are lots of physical things in there, and again, a lot of them focus around pain. So I would just be frank with him and say, what exactly is it that you're suggesting we try? I'm open to it, but I just want to know what it is you mean so that we're on the same page.
Do people actually use the whips, or are they more like props?
No, they're like
you actually use
whips,
them? Oh wow!
Like welts across the back.
What? Why? Like what's? How does that
Why
work?
would you do that?
How does that?
Again, you're getting into kind of a realm of a sexual world where it's personal preference.
Okay.
And as long as it's consensual, it's okay. But there are, like I said, there are people, there are thoughts that that's borderline of okay behavior. And I look at it and I say, if you're both consenting to it, it's something that's happening behind closed doors, that's okay. If it's something that you're thinking about, I would read the book.
Read the book?
If he says to you, I read the book, or I've heard about the book, and there were some ideas in there that I'd like to try, then I would say read the book. That you know what he's referring to, because otherwise you're not on the same ground.
Okay. So if it does turn out that, like, I mean, what he's thinking is along like the whips or, and I, you know, I'm okay with like experimenting or whatever. Do you think it's okay if we try that? Like, there's nothing wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with trying it, no.
Okay.
But if you try it and didn't like it, or if you're trying it and you say stop, then there needs to be that communication.
Okay.
There are definitely stores just across the street here. It's kind of like a higher end boutique. Other places you might have or heard of would be like those kinds of places are going to sell sex toys, sex props, those kinds of things.
Okay.
They exist. It's not illegal. It's not, you're not, you know, okay. Is it normal in a 16-year-old's relationship? I would say it's unusual for people to tell me about it, but I don't know that it's not normal, that it's not happening.
Okay.
Are you on any form of birth control?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're having safe sex in that regard?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I think it's going to just depend on what it is that you're looking for. You know, I mean, you can get a horse whip. I wouldn't recommend it, but I'm sure you can. So, I mean, it kind of depends on what you're looking for.
Okay.
There are probably a lot of things out there that I don't even know about.
Okay.
I know, for example, patients will sometimes come in with rope burns or markings on their breasts from like clamps. And again, if it's consensual,
it's okay.
It's okay. There are things like they call them. And I mean, there are all kinds of anal play. Those kind of fall more into the category of sex toys, that kind of stuff. Again, all normal as long as it's consensual. If it's just two kids that go to school together that are, well, relatively, but you know, if you're on equal ground and you're both consenting to the behavior that you're doing, then it is okay.
A lot of people want intact parts these days because they're looking for specific nodes. Amy nodes, SA. I was like, wow, I didn't even know. Good for them. Yesterday was the first time she said people wanted lungs. And then, like I said, always as many intact livers as possible. People just want
livers.
Some people want lower extremities too, which that's simple. I mean, that's easy. I don't know what they're doing with it. I guess they want muscle. But
Yeah, a dime a dozen.
I'm the medical director for the national office for all of the affiliates. So I say, okay, what are you looking to supply today? We've been very good at getting heart, lung, liver. provider has had patients who want to donate their tissue, and they absolutely want to accommodate them. They just want to do it in a way that is not perceived as this clinic is selling tissue, this clinic is making money off of this.
Okay, so when you are or the affiliate is determining what that is monetary.
Yes.
So that it doesn't raise any question of this is what it's about. This is the main. What price range would you?
You know, I'm going to throw a number out. I would say it's probably anywhere from $30 to $100, depending on the facility and what's involved.
The $30 to $100 price, that's per specimen that we're talking about, right? Yeah.
Yes.
The $30 to $100 price, that's per specimen that we're talking about, right? Yeah.
Yes.
How much of a difference can that actually make if you know what kind of what's expected or what we need versus?
It makes a huge difference. I'd say a lot of people want liver.
Mm-hmm.
And for that reason, most providers will do this case under ultrasound guidance, so they'll know where they're putting their forceps. Then a rate-limiting step of the procedure is calvarium. Calvarium, the head is basically the biggest part. Most of the other stuff can come out intact.
Right.
It's very rare to have a patient that doesn't have enough dilation to evacuate all the other
to bring the body cavity out intact and all that.
So then you're just kind of cognizant of where you put your graspers. You try to intentionally go above and below the thorax so that, we've been very good at getting hard, long liver because we know that, so I'm not going to crush that part. I'm going to basically crush below, I'm going to crush above, and I'm going to see if I can get it intact. And with the calvarium, in general, some people will actually try to change the presentation so that it's not a vertex, because when it's a vertex presentation, you never have enough dilation at the beginning unless you have real huge amount of dilation to deliver an intact calvarium. So if you do it starting from the breech presentation, there's dilation that happens as the case goes on, and often the last you can evacuate an intact calvarium. So I mean, there are certainly steps that can be taken.
So they can convert to breech, for example, at the start of the.
Exactly. Under ultrasound guidance, they can just change the presentation. Under ultrasound guidance, they can just change the presentation.
To bring the body cavity out intact and all that.
So if you do it starting from the breech presentation, there's dilation that happens as the case goes on, and often the last you can evacuate an intact calvarium. Federal abortion ban is a law, and laws are up to interpretation. So if I say on day one I do not intend to do this, what ultimately happens doesn't matter.
So yesterday was a clinic day. For example, like what did you procure?
I asked her at the beginning of the day what she wanted. Yesterday she's been at, a lot of people want intact hearts these days because they're looking for specific nodes, AV nodes, SA. I was like, wow, I didn't even know. Good for them. Yesterday was the first time she said people wanted lungs. And then, like I said, always as many intact livers as possible. People just want
livers.
People want lower extremities too, which that's simple. I mean, that's easy. I don't know what they're doing with it. I guess they want muscle.
Yeah, a dime a dozen.
If you maintain enough of the dialogue to the person that's actually doing the procedures and they understand what the end game is, there are little things, changes they can make in your technique to increase your
Even though they have a set way that they do it, they're open to changing them.
The reasonable people, sure. For example, so I had 8 cases yesterday, and I knew exactly what we needed, and I kind of looked at the list, and I said, all right, this 17-weeker has 8 lambs, and this. So I knew which were the cases that were probably more likely to yield what we needed, and I made my decisions according to that too. So it's worth having a huddle at the beginning of the day, and that's what I do.
rather than having to deal with all the different affiliates, if there were a way to partner with PPFA directly to get some kind of like pre-clearance or something, so that we have.
Do this. And at the national office, we have a litigation and law department, which just really doesn't want us to be the middle people on this issue right now. Because we were approached by Step Express to do the same thing. One of the Northern California affiliates said, we're working with these people, we love it, we think every affiliate should work with them. And so we had a conversation, and we said, what do you think, we'll just go out and find all the people that are doing this and present everybody with a menu, and they, at the end of the day, they just decided right now it's too touchy an issue for us to be an official middleman. But that,
when you say right now, do they see a future?
Right now, the way the Supreme Court looks, I don't think it looks very good. Okay. If you talk to my litigation and law folks, anything that's going to go to the Supreme Court right now, we are all losers. But I will tell you that behind closed doors, these conversations are happening with the affiliates.
Cecile, I want to thank you so much for Dr. Nuka-Cola. She's been so helpful for the past couple of years. With fetal tissue collection. She's been very, very helpful with it to talk to and
Okay, great. Thank you. She's amazing.
And thank you for Planned Parenthood.
Thank you. For Planned Parenthood.
you call that intact?
These are intact kidneys,
Okay.
yes. If somebody needed...
Because if I looked at that, I'd be like, that's good to go.
Oh, yeah.
That's like 21.
Yeah.
5 stars.
Yeah, you could start a neural cell culture from this neural tissue right here.
Like, would someone want that?
This?
Yeah. Any of this?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Someone would definitely.
So even at 11 weeks, even though it's really early, because I know that's when we talked about.
This is neural tissue that people could take and look, and you see how it's still connected through the spinal cord back there. If you
we just send that all together, and they pick it out. Or
you could actually, yeah. Some people prefer that actually because it keeps it a little more protected. Yeah. That 11.6 was pretty good. There was there was like 3 or 4 samples we could have taken out of the 11.6, so that would be if we were doing like 50 to 75 per specimen, that would be like 200, 300, right? And we'd be comfortable with that. But like it's like stuff like this, like we don't want to do like just a flat fee of like 200 and then it's like
No, and I think the per item thing works a little better just because we can see how much we can get out of it.
What would you expect for intact tissue? What sort of compensation? What sort of...
Well, why don't you start by telling me what you're used to paying?
be exhibiting at the medical directors council meeting in a couple of weeks, so I don't know if you'll be attending.
I'm now the president of that organization.
Oh.
So we had just started the conversation, and Susan was explaining they're a startup, that they have been about a year in business. They're a for-profit company that's connecting researchers with people willing to donate tissue. Our volume, thank you for giving it to me, is 800 a year with 60 in the second trimester. And we just started to talk about how the process worked with Novogenics down in Los Angeles when I was there. Okay. To back up a little bit, PPFA, our parent body, is on board with tissue donation, but we have to ask for a waiver to do it, and we have to lay out for them what our program's going to be like. And the mechanics of it was that Heather, Novogenics person, would come to the site, and our staff would sign the patients up and get consent, and then Heather would look at the tissue and take what she required. So it was logistically very easy for us. We didn't have to do anything. So there was compensation for this. We didn't have to do anything. So there was compensation for this, and there was a discussion as I was leaving. They had been paying by the case, and there was some discussion about doing it in a different way, or I don't know what you're used to doing, how are you used to doing compensation. The patients don't get anything, of course.
Okay, so I'd like, what would you expect for intact tissue? What sort of compensation? What sort of...
Well, why don't you start by telling me what you're used to paying?
Okay, I don't think so. I would like to know what would make you happy. What would work for you?
Well, you know, in negotiations, the person who throws out the figure first is at a loss, right? So.
No, I don't look at it that way. I know you want to play that game. I get it, but no, I want
low ball because I'm used to low things from.
You know what? If you low ball, I'll act pleasantly surprised, and you'll know it's a low ball.
Okay.
What I want to know is what would work for you. Don't low ball it.
Okay.
Tell me what you really.
$75 a specimen.
Oh, that's way too low. And that's way too low. I want to keep you happy.
I've been at places that did 50 too. But see, we're not in it for the money. So why don't you start by telling me what you're used to paying?
No, I want
lowball $75 a specimen, and we don't want to be in the position of being accused of selling tissue and stuff like that. On the other hand, there are costs associated with the use of our space and all that kind of stuff. So what were you thinking about?
Right. So way higher than that. So I'd like to start at around 100.
Okay. Now this is for tissue that you actually take, not just the tissue that person volunteered that you can't find anything.
Exactly.
Now this is for tissue that you actually take, not just the tissue that person volunteered that you can't find anything.
Exactly, right. What we can use, what is intact. So that's why I'm saying no, don't lowball. I want you to be happy.
It's complicated by the fact that our volume is so low too. I mean, are you looking at 8 and 9 week specimens or only second trimester specimens?
10 to 12 week, end of the first trimester. If those are pretty intact specimens, then that's something we can work with.
So that's an interesting concept. Let me explain to you a little bit of a problem, which may not be a big problem. If our usual technique is suction at 10 to 12 weeks, and we switch to using an iPass or something with less suction in order to increase the odds that will come out as an intact specimen, then we're kind of violating the protocol that says to the patient, we're not doing anything different in our care of you. And to me, that's a kind of a specious little argument, and I wouldn't object to asking Ian, who's our surgeon that does the cases, to use an iPass at that gestational age in order to increase the odds that he was going to get an intact specimen. But I do need to throw it out there as a concern, because the patient is signing something and we're signing something saying we're not changing anything in the way we're managing you just because you agreed to give tissue. I've heard of that before.
Right, yeah, no, it's definitely...
It's touchy. Okay. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think they're both totally appropriate techniques. There's no pain involved. I don't think the patients would care one iota. So I'm not making a fuss about that.
Okay.
Now you have my email address, right?
I got your email, yeah.
Write me a 3 or 4 paragraph proposal, which I will then take to Laurel and others in our organization to see if we want to pursue this. And then if we want to pursue this mutually, I'll mention this to Ian in terms of how he feels about using a less crunchy technique to get more whole specimens. And then if we agree to move forward, the next steps I need to apply to PPFA for a waiver to permit us to do this. We have to have a contract. Do you have a contract already?
We have what we've used in the past is a materials transfer agreement. And that's obviously open to discussion.
So that's a prototype. It needs to say exactly what your staff is going to do, exactly what your expectations are, exactly what the compensation is.
And are we agreed that $100 would keep you happy?
Well, let me agree to find out from other affiliates in California what they're getting. And if they're getting substantially more, then we can discuss it again.
Yes.
Again, the money is not the important thing.
No,
but it has to be big enough that it's worthwhile.
But it is something to talk about. I mean, it's one of the first things that you brought up, right? So,
it has to be big enough that it's worthwhile.
But it is something to talk about. I mean, it's one of the first things that you brought up, right? So.
Now here's another thought: is we can talk about specimen as per specimen per case, or per procured tissue sample, which would be so that if we're able to get a liver thymus pair, maybe that is $75 per specimen, and so that's for for liver thymus pair, and that's $150, versus if we can get liver thymus, brain hemisphere, and all that, then and then so that protects us so that we're not paying for what we can't use. I think it also maybe illustrates things.
It's been years since I've talked about compensation, so let me just figure out what others are getting, and if this is in the ballpark, then that's fine. If it's still low, then we can talk about it. I want a Lamborghini. I said I want a Lamborghini.
Don't we all, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, how are you?
Did we meet before?
Am I not sure?
I'm with Biomax, the fetal tissue collection agency.
No, we haven't. I'm Ann Tuesday. I'm her medical director at Gulf Coast at Center for Choice.
Oh, you are? Like the medical director for second tries, I guess.
Well, so Paul Fine is the medical director for the entire affiliate, and I am over the abortion services. We definitely have the volume, so.
And the quality too. You know how to do some of the tricky, like.
Yeah, and we do our best. I mean, especially when sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes, but we had a patient a couple months ago who it was an anomalous fetus, a desired pregnancy, and she wanted footprints. And so I made sure that the resident didn't do that procedure, so that I was able to do it in such a way that we were able to, get footprints in here. So there can be it's not all possible who we can,
No, so we're not looking for footprints and handprints.
No,
We're looking for livers and cardiac and those.
Those I can get you without much difficulty at all.
Good. We're looking for livers and cardiac and those.
Those I can get you without much difficulty at all.
And what is it when, is it just like you're more careful, or how do you, because I know different people.
I think a lot of it has to do with dilation. Really and truly, a lot of it has to do with dilation, because when you have good dilation, a cervix that's either well dilated and or just softer and more pliable, then as you bring the fetus down, you can get more of it out before disarticulation occurs.
Right.
And you can get bigger pieces out before disarticulation occurs. Then as you bring the fetus down, you can get more of it out before disarticulation occurs. And you can get bigger pieces out before disarticulation occurs. Whereas if you don't have good dilation, then you're literally almost like, because
then
you you get whatever's in your forceps. But if you have good dilation, then more than that will come half. If you don't have good dilation, then all you're getting out is what's in your forceps.
It just gets stuck right there, and
so
it just
whatever's in your forceps and nothing more. I would much rather do 3 or 4 passes than 15.
Is that your average, like 3 to 4 passes to remove everything, or? Sean's listening in. She's like, you take notes, son. You keep track of it. Oh, you probably do actually.
It depends. I mean, there are some that are like, I need you to make one more pass. Like to avoid PBA. I'm like,
to avoid the federal law.
Too close. I was like,
so you're sitting there like coaching her, like watching how to.
No. But I mean, we know, right? Like if I'm doing a procedure and
it's
seeing
brief.
that I'm in fear that it's about to come to the umbilicus, I might ask for a second set of forceps, hold the body at the cervix and pull off the leg.
So you gotta,
so it's not If I'm doing a procedure and
it's
seeing
brief.
that I'm in fear that it's about to come to the umbilicus, I might ask for a second set of forceps, hold the body at the cervix and pull off the leg.
So you gotta,
so it's not
So that's where if you've got it coming out to umbilicus and that torso area is also intact, that's when I start to get excited, because that's all the organs in there that are right there.
I mean, I find that even if I can't get it out intact, I can still get you a good sample.
Now, if you just do a disarticulation though, while sitting, so you'll pop a leg off or whatever, then you're free, right? Like it counts, and so then you can just bring the rest of it through all in one piece, because you've already done a disarticulation.
And usually at that point,
And obviously, and you probably do the whole intent statement thing and all of that with the other ones. Do you think that's better than DIG, or what do you? Because some people, that's another controversy.
Experience with DIG.
Oh, really?
I've just, I just don't have any experience with it, so I can't really speak to that.
It nukes the stem cells, obviously, so we don't want anything to
Right.
I had a colleague who tried to do a cell isolation on a liver that was from a fetus that had been DIG'd, just for kicks and giggles to see it. Excuse me.
I just laughed at you.
Just to see if they could get anything out of it. Nothing. It was all completely dead. Nothing. Of course, right? So it's a thing. It's a real thing.
So I mean, like I said, even in the procedures where I'm not doing anything close to intact, I find that it's pretty easy to, identify and isolate relatively intact abdominal contents.
See, I told you that the abdominal stuff is the easiest. Hands down. But the thymus, I don't know about all that.
The thymus is going to be a little bit trickier.
Right, because it's right up here. It's smaller. And that's the thing is, even if they're all intact, if it's all spilled out of the body, by the time you've got it all there in the tray, it's kind of like you're spending like an hour playing find the thymus, like hoping it's not.
Kidneys, lungs.
Yeah, we saw all that.
It was like a 16-weeker that Dr. B had did, but it was on a minor. And so it was one of those minors where like Dr. B had to like hurry it up and like.
Yeah. Was it because the patient was not cooperative? Or okay.
So it was just like not the smoothest, but like when you have patients who like cooperate, sometimes it just like, and there's good dilation, it's just like one pass and
you get the whole thing.
Is that, it's just like one pass and
you get the whole thing.
Is that, you know, as in our kind of medium range planning is getting a nurse anesthetist or somebody who can do deep sedation like propofol or something like that.
Well, I think Misty is supposed to be sending us some stuff pretty soon, so.
Yeah, we needed to, her and I needed to meet with legal, just because we're in Texas, we just always want to be like, you know, so we're just meeting with our legal counsel and then setting up.
Did you hear anything about the stuff with Greater Texas and what their like confusion is?
I have no idea.
No idea.
Like, trust me, because like I would never would have had a conversation with you if I wasn't already like fairly confident that it was going to be, you know, that our race is whatever and stuff like that. Trust me, because like I would never would have had a conversation with you if I wasn't already like fairly confident that it was going to be, you know, that our race is whatever and stuff like that.
I might ask for a second set of forceps. Hold the body at the cervix and pull off the leg.
Oh, so you get okay.
So it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
See,
when you have patients who like cooperate, sometimes it just like, and there's good dilation, it's just like one pass and
you get the whole thing.
Is that, you know,
we're looking for livers and cardiac and those,
those I can get you without any difficulty at all.
I am not sure exactly how far along I am, and I haven't seen a doctor yet or had an ultrasound, but I'm hoping to do this like as hands-off as possible. So is there a way, do I have to have an ultrasound?
So if you don't want to ultrasound, if you're okay not getting one, we can go ahead and move forward. Are you interested in the no ultrasound option? Like a no ultrasound option, is that something you're okay with?
Sorry. That would be, so it'd be okay if I didn't get an ultrasound? That's what you're saying?
Like,
if you don't want to, you don't have to get an ultrasound first. If you do it through telehealth, then you're basically waiving the ultrasound.
So I could not have an ultrasound if I did it through telehealth?
Correct. Yeah. The ultrasound is only to confirm the pregnancy and tell you how far along you are. They don't tell you. They're not even able to tell you the size of the baby or the gender or show you. Like, this isn't like a ploy to get you to change your mind.
Can I skip that part?
It doesn't include an ultrasound, so like you could potentially do it without the ultrasound.
Do you need to check if I'm RH negative or anything?
No, we don't. We wouldn't. It's not required that we administer an injection or anything for RH negative patients. RH negative. Okay. So we don't have anything like that on our list.
You don't need any like doctor records or anything like that?
No.
Do I have to come in at all? Like, do I have to come in after I take the pills, or am I good?
You don't have to come in. I don't think you have to come in.
I've seen stuff online where people saying that, oh, it's super dangerous and stuff, but I didn't think it actually was.
Well, a lot of people describe it. I mean, I would say like both procedures are really safe and effective, but with any medical procedure, there are some risks involved. Of course, you can talk about that in more detail with like the medical bureau provider just to get like more accurate info on that, if that makes sense. But I know they're certainly like safer than like hearing the term as far as that goes. But
really?
But yeah.
Do people die from that?
No, so the abortion pill is 97% effective, but but the abortion won't pass. It's pretty safe, but of course it's an abortion, so there will be the bleeding and cramping demonstrated with the pregnancy, basically.
And I mean, I wouldn't see anything, right? Like I wouldn't see a baby or anything, right?
So if you're less than 11 weeks, it's not going to be like a fully developed fetus.
But I'm gonna see like a baby?
You're going to see the bleeding, of course. You'll see the bleeding.
But I'm not gonna see like a baby, right?
So that I don't know exactly what it is that you will be seeing. Of course, you'll see like all the bleeding and like clots, but the doctor would go over all that information with you.
Okay, I didn't know that I would potentially see.
Yeah. So I mean, the abortion. I mean, you're pregnant, so the abortion, you will be bleeding and cramping and blood clots. To get rid of the pregnancy, or get rid of the baby, the pregnancy. So, yeah, you will be expected to see that.
You'll start cramping and going through the abortion process at home because you'll pass the tissue at home.
Wait, but I thought that with the abortion pill, you just take it and it ends the pregnancy. I didn't know I have to actually go through labor, cramping?
Yeah.
Can I do this without my parents knowing?
Yeah, we can set it up to be confidential for you.
I'm hoping to do the telehealth appointment and then put down the address as one of my friend's addresses and then get the abortion pills there and then probably take them there.
Okay, so doesn't have to go right to your house. We can use a different address. You can put a friend's address or something.
If I went through the electronic appointment with the doctor and got the abortion pills in the mail, I wouldn't have to take them right then, right? I could wait until we decide for sure.
Yeah, you don't have to take it right away. You don't have to go forward with it. It's just because you have the appointment. It's okay.
Right.
Well, you have until you're 12 weeks along in order to get the medication.
What happens if I take the pill after that time?
It's not effective, so that's why we do the procedure instead.
It just doesn't work at all?
I'm not sure it works at all, but it's definitely far less effective.
Yeah, you can cancel your appointment at any time. You can go through your appointment. Decide not to do it. And it's your decision. It's totally up to you if you want to do it or not. And so, and if you want us to still send you the pills and then you decide not to take them, that's totally fine as well.
Okay.
Thank you for calling Planned Parenthood. Thank you for choosing Planned Parenthood, Greater New York.
Thank you for calling Planned Parenthood, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for calling Planned Parenthood.
Hi, my name's Sophia. I'm just trying to schedule some gender-affirming care. I really just want to be able to get some testosterone to start my journey.
So we just have to start by booking your initial appointment so you can come in to see one of our providers. Are you over 18?
No, I'm 16.
You're good to be seen here then, 16 and older.
Okay, good. You're okay to do it for minors?
Yes, you can legally get hormones under 18. How old are you?
16. I know my mom has to come in with me. Does she have to be in there the whole time? Like, how does that work? Because I don't know if I'm comfortable with that.
At some point in the appointment, maybe she doesn't have to be in the examining room with you.
You said I could do it virtually?
Yeah, you could do it virtually.
So what would that look like? So I just talk to a doctor and then they'd be able to prescribe me?
Yeah, if it's virtual, you'll still meet with the doctor and then go over like all necessary information. At the end, they will then be prescribing hormones that would then be scripted out to like your local pharmacy.
I don't need any like therapy or anything first? Like you don't need any record of that?
Not that I know of.
I don't need any sort of like records of having gone to therapy or anything like that, right?
Yeah, so unless you have TRICARE insurance, it would not be required.
There's nothing that I need before, right? Like I don't need to like have records of meeting with a therapist or anything, right? Because my parents definitely aren't gonna let me do that.
No.
I just decided last week and so I kind of want to get in as soon as possible. Do you have any appointments available soon?
Yeah, it depends on the location too, but we usually do have availability for like the next week of whenever you call.
You think that if I came in, went over everything with the doctor and they could send the prescription that day?
Yes, I think they should be able to. The provider is going to send the prescription to your pharmacy the same day of your appointment.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So I could get the hormones the same day.
Some pharmacies do take a little bit to get it together, but yeah, if not the same day, then more than likely the very next day.
Perfect.
Good afternoon, this is Autumn.
Hello, Autumn. I'm interested in making a donation today.
Fantastic.
What about abortions for the underprivileged minority groups? I want to specify that abortion to help a minority group. Would that be possible? Like the black community, for example?
Certainly.
Okay. So the abortion could be, I could give money specifically for a black baby. That'd be the purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. If you wanted to designate that you wanted your gift to be used to help an African American woman in need, then we would certainly make sure that gift was earmarked specifically for that purpose.
Great, because I really face trouble with affirmative action, and I don't want my kids being disadvantaged, against black kids. I just had a baby. I want to put it in his name, so that's definitely possible.
Oh, always.
And we just think, the less black kids out there, the better.
Understandable. All right. Excuse my hesitation. This is the first time I've had a donor call and make this kind of request, so I'm excited, and I want to make sure I don't leave anything out. Hello, this is Irene.
Hi, I'm interested in making a donation. I'd like to fund one abortion.
Okay.
I was wondering if that would be possible.
Yes, we can definitely put that.
Can I make the donation specifically for a minority group?
Like a specific group of color, or like a group of...
I mean, like, I want the abortion to be for an African American baby.
Okay.
And I was wondering if that could be possible.
The exact amount we charge right now is $450 for an abortion.
Okay, $450.
And we can definitely designate it for an African American.
Wonderful. If I wanted to help fund multiple abortions, could you also specify that this could be done for a specific group? Great. Well, I'm really excited, because I really face trouble with affirmative action. I don't want my kids to be disadvantaged, against blacks in college, and the less blacks out there, the better. So.
Yeah, it's a strange time for sure.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Thank you so much, and you'll be receiving the check in a few days.
Hello, this is Sue. May I help you?
Hi, Sue. I'm interested in making a donation.
Great.
So, would it be possible for me to donate that money specifically for these minority groups so that they could have access to abortions?
Yes, it would be.
Wonderful. And could I specify that abortion be done, or those abortions be done for a particular minority group, or how does that work?
If you wish, you can.
Okay. So, for example, the black community in Tulsa, would it be possible to give the money specifically for that?
You sure can.
Wonderful. Great. The abortions will be done specifically for the black community abortions.
I will mark it in such a way that definitely it will.
On a black baby?
Yes.
Thank you. Great.
Okay.
So can I give you my credit card number?
Yes.
Planned Parenthood Administration, this is Lisa.
And who am I speaking with now?
My name is Lisa Hutton.
Lisa Hutton, what's your position?
Administrative Assistant.
Okay. When I underwrite abortion, does that apply to minorities too?
If you specifically want it to underwrite an abortion for a minority person, you can target it that way. You can specify that that's how you want it spent.
Okay, yeah, because there's definitely way too many black people in Ohio, so I'm just trying to do my part.
Okay, whatever.
Well, blacks especially need abortions too, so that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, for whatever reason, we'll accept the money.
We've had a daughter. We'd really like to have a son, but I found out I was pregnant. It looks like it's going to be a girl, another girl. Mm-hmm. So, we're like, okay, here we are again. It's not what we're looking for right now. Mm-hmm. You do abortions up to how long?
24 weeks.
24.
Uh-huh.
24.
Uh-huh.
Do you know at what stage generally they tell on an ultrasound?
At what point in pregnancy you can tell the sex of the pregnancy? It depends on what type of prenatal testing you're doing. So if you were to have what's called a CVS test, which is, do you know what that is?
No.
So a CVS test is done between 11 and 13 weeks of pregnancy.
Okay.
And it basically tests, it's a genetic test that's done, but it's just done earlier in your pregnancy, and amnios is done around 16 weeks.
Later.
This is between 11 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
And either of those tests can confirm, tell you what the sex of the pregnancy is.
Okay.
By sonogram, from what I understand, it's more between 18 to 20 weeks you can tell the sex of, certainly by 20, but maybe, somewhere around 18 is when on a sonogram you can tell the sex of the pregnancy.
Now, are the previous two tests that you mentioned, are those definitive? Like there's no guesswork there?
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking that it might be, because I could even get the CVS test done now.
Yeah.
I'm at the stage where I wouldn't have to wait.
It's between 11 and 13 weeks. And so it is a test that you could do now.
So I could do that before scheduling even the abortion, just in case it's a boy, and that would be awful. It would be really hard.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
Absolutely. You would want to, obviously, because you haven't seen anybody yet, you'd want to, you'd want to make an appointment with someone as soon as possible.
If there is somebody that you guys would recommend that I could go to just to get the test so that we know.
Right.
Because then if we find out that it is a girl, then we could terminate earlier rather than having to wait.
Yeah.
Are there fewer complications that way?
Yeah, so, so an abortion up to at any stage up to 24 weeks is considered a safe procedure. The biggest difference is that after 16 weeks, the procedure becomes a 2-day procedure rather than a procedure that's done just on 1 day.
Okay.
So it's not that it's unsafe or that, there's a lot more risk involved. It's just there's more steps involved and it's just a little more complicated.
Right.
The further along you are in your pregnancy.
And it sounds like if we do this test, we can avoid waiting longer.
Yes. And so if you decide that, even if you find out that it's a girl and you decide that what you would prefer is to terminate the pregnancy, then that's just your decision. I can tell you that, here at Planned Parenthood, we believe that it's not up to us to decide what is a good or bad reason for somebody to decide to terminate a pregnancy. If you're already 12 weeks, by the time you get an appointment to see a doctor first, you have to have an initial consultation, an initial appointment, and then you'd have to schedule the CVS test.
Yes.
I think it does take then at least a week to get the results.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're probably talking about scheduling for the 14th week of pregnancy? And you guys do that here. Maybe I should go ahead. Can I schedule that appointment so that I have that on the books? Because we're pretty sure it is a girl again, and 80 to 90% sure. And then, once we get that confirmation, I'll just plan on keeping it, and I'll call you guys if for some reason we find out it's a boy.
That's fine. All right, so you're scheduled for Friday the 27th at 8:30 in the morning.
Hopefully we will have to cancel it because we find out it's a boy, but if not, I will be here on the 27th.
Okay.
All right, have a seat here. Thanks. So, yes, you're pregnant.
Okay, that's what I thought, yeah.
And so, what are you leaning more towards? I see that you say you want to terminate if it's a girl, so are you just wanting to continue the pregnancy in the meantime, or what?
Yeah, I think that would be the plan.
The abortion covers you up until 23 weeks.
Okay.
So it's a little over 5 months. Little.
Okay.
And usually at 5 months is usually when they detect, whether or not it's a boy or a girl.
I see.
So you would be like right Sometimes
there.
they can tell at 4. I've seen that happen, but it just depends.
Depends. Do you think I should go and just ask for an ultrasound and just not tell them that I'm going to terminate if it's a girl? Or I just feel like there's been some judgment for my...
to be honest with you, I would probably think so, just because, we've had even clinicians, regular doctors that actually have even told women, you can't go and terminate after you're 16 weeks, which is not true, but, a lot of doctors, they'll place judgment because of the fact that the brain is already developed, pretty much everything's already developed.
Yeah.
The brain is already developed, pretty much everything's already developed.
Yeah.
And then for you to go and terminate, usually we tell them, you don't actually have to say what you're going to go do. I have actually applied for Medicaid, got on Medicaid as if I was going to continue my pregnancy. Went through the OBGYN, and then me and my husband decided we're going to go ahead and terminate. We terminated, and I still stayed on Medicaid and just got on birth control. Right after I got on birth control, I just stopped using it. I didn't even want it anymore.
And didn't use it anymore?
Mm-hmm.
So then I could, then we could probably, you're thinking like if we did that, we could probably get pregnant again soon after.
Oh yeah, I've had 2 abortions and I have 4 kids.
Okay, so all right.
So again, from experience,
okay.
There's nothing wrong with getting pregnant immediately.
Okay.
Afterwards.
All right. Okay. So these providers would be at least more open to me terminating. But do you think I still just shouldn't worry about telling them that I would be terminating if it's a girl? I'll just kind of just keep it quiet and then come here.
Yeah, I would probably, because more than likely they could even, they could even refuse to continue to see you if you're just going to terminate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see.
This is what you could take. Are you wanting to possibly get on pregnancy Medicaid to see if you can get like a...
Yeah, I'd like to try that out.
So I'm going to give you this too as well. This is what you would take to the Medicaid office. This is basically just proof of pregnancy.
Oh, good. Thank you. So then I'd want to schedule, try to schedule an ultrasound with an OB around then, and then I would still be able to come back here for a termination if it was a girl. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, you know, if you go and see an OBGYN, you know, pretty soon, and you do an ultrasound to see exactly how far along you are, then you can really detect, okay, this is how far along I am, this is when I need to, you know.
Yeah.
This is when I need, when I'll know whether or not it's a boy or girl.
Gotcha.
So again, you'll be like 20 weeks. That's 5 months.
Okay.
So.
Okay. That is really helpful. Thank you for understanding.
You're welcome.
I was worried that I would get judgment for terminating because of the gender, and you've been so...
No. I'm just trying to, you know, help you as much as possible. So
thank you.
You know, some things you probably can't be too open because there are people out there that'll place judgment, you know.
Yeah.
And then whenever it does happen, it's like you could tell them one thing, but then they might even just think another.
That's
what matters is that, you know, you have your family.
Yes, my boy and my girl.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
So just continue and try again.
Okay, all right. So I will call you back, and I mean, obviously, if it's a girl, I'll call you back, and if not, then...
And I'll give you let me give you our card too, just so you can have. Actually, I forgot the numbers right here.
Oh, okay.
That you call.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
And I hope that you do get your boy.
Thank you.
And I hope that you do get your boy.
Thank you.
And I hope that you do get your boy.
Like I've read a few things online that say different things about it, but just I'm really worried about my future fertility.
Well, that's a good question. And having an abortion, if you have had normal periods, if you have had a normal pregnancy, it shouldn't hinder the ability to have children. As you know, as early as in the next month. I mean, women get pregnant immediately. It doesn't. That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't enable the ability to ovulate. Some women will ovulate right after the procedure and get themselves into trouble again because
and then they have their back here
because they don't think.
Have you seen that?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
They don't think they can get pregnant right away.
So funny.
I mean, everybody has their different reasons why they choose to have a termination.
Well, the good thing for me is I am trying to get pregnant.
I see.
So
you're trying, but then right now is not the time.
Well, like, no, it's just, the thing is, me and my husband, when we got married, we decided, you know, I have a daughter, I told you, and when we got married, we decided just like, he's not actually her father. That's another thing. I had her in high school.
I see.
But, you know, it's like, he loves her like his own, and we just decided, you know, for us, just, you know, one boy and one girl. And there's this, have you heard of it? No, none of my friends have heard of it, but there's like a test you can take that determines the gender.
Oh.
So I took like 3 to make sure.
The test you can take to, what kind of test?
It's called, I always forget, IntelliGender.
And this is like over the counter?
It's like a urine test. And you can buy it, I bought it at Walgreens.
I don't think that's accurate. To be completely honest, the only way you can tell 100% of gender would be to have an ultrasound.
But it got like, everyone online, like it got really good reviews and said it was really reliable. So.
Never heard of it. But I mean, you know, it's really up to the patient whether, I mean, everybody has their different reasons why they choose to have a termination. And of course, everybody's story matters. And if that's, you know, if that's what you want to base your decision on, really, actually, you know, it's really up to you. But I mean, I would, you know,
just make sure before I terminate that it's a girl.
You may have to wait a little while to get an ultrasound because, well, we do ultrasound, but we don't do ultrasound to determine gender. So you would probably have to seek services with an OBGYN and get an ultrasound with them.
My doctor back on Oahu, I had like briefly mentioned to him that, you know, if it was a girl, I'd probably terminate. And he got really uncomfortable, and I felt like he was kind of judging me.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry that happened. They shouldn't be doing that. You know, they shouldn't be judging a patient. And like I said, everybody has a different story and a different reason. And this is your reason and this is your situation. So they should be accommodating because this can help you determine. And it's nobody's business and nobody's reason but yours.
Like, what if it was like a year later? Is it okay to come back and terminate? I'm just thinking because like what I am worried about is like if I get pregnant with a girl again, like it's kind of a weird question, but is there like too many abortions? Is there such a thing? Like is there a point where I should just like where it's unhealthy for my body or?
You don't want to do a lot of abortions and frequently.
Frequently, okay.
You know, you gotta let your body take a rest, take a breather. You know. Yeah, not every couple of months you get pregnant and you terminate because it's wrong sex. You know, it's not healthy for you.
Okay. But so I should like chill for a little bit, like after terminating this female pregnancy, just like let your body heal.
Yeah.
Start trying again, and then hopefully it's a boy. But if it's a girl, like maybe what if it was like a year later? Is it okay to come back and terminate? Okay.
That's okay.
So if I wanted to terminate a girl, the government would pay for it?
Okay.
Oh, I'm so bummed that the military insurance won't cover abortions.
No, they never did and they never will. They never did. They never did. They don't condone. They don't give their money for an abortion.
That's too bad.
Yeah, so you gotta go with the state Quest or you gotta pay out of pocket.
What's Quest?
State insurance.
But with Quest, so it covers abortion?
Yeah.
How much of it?
All of it.
Really? So, and they don't, it doesn't matter the reason? Like,
no.
So if I wanted to terminate a girl, the government would pay for it?
Okay.